Welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah and today we will talk about the pros and cons of digital nomad lifestyle. I personally have been a digital nomad for more than 5 years now, 2 out of which I lived completely without a home. I also have a lot of friends who are digital nomads. So today I want to summarize my experience and share the biggest pros and cons of digital nomad lifestyle. But before we begin, please like this video, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so you can get notified when my new videos go out. Pros of digital nomad lifestyle. When we think about digital nomad lifestyle, we usually think about life of adventures and exciting life. And imagine you're traveling from place to place, you are able to try all the different cuisines, explore different cultures, meet different people, and adventures will literally wait for you around the corner. You don't have to plan this because this is just a part of digital nomad lifestyle. Another powerful pro of digital nomad lifestyle is freedom of choice, and it is literally as simple as that. If you don't like where you are, you can easily change that. Let's say you're not a fan of a cold winter weather. You can just pack your bag, buy your flight, and go to some warm place, such as Bali, and spend 3 beautiful months in a summer climate. There are a few more pros to digital nomad lifestyle, such as simplicity. Digital nomad lifestyle and a lifestyle of full-time travel can be surprisingly simple. And it's just because you don't have to deal with all the adult things, such as dealing with authorities, doing paperwork, or even doing maintenance for your home. The most important thing you have to do when you're moving from place to place is to find your accommodation. And it doesn't matter if it's a hostel or an Airbnb or a villa, it depends on your budget as well as location. Whenever you find your accommodation, everything is included, the bills, maintenance, all the other things. And the next thing you have to do is just think where you're going to get your food from, where you're going to work from, and what you're going to do in your free time. Creating your own schedule is another benefit of digital nomad lifestyle, and we are talking here about creating your schedule on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly and even yearly basis. So for example, if you decide that you want to go to the gym in the middle of workday and then later continue working in the evening, you can totally do that. As well as if you decide to travel on Monday or Tuesday, you can catch up on work during the weekend. Regarding the monthly or yearly schedules, you can also plan where you want to stay in particular seasons of the year. And there are particular locations that a lot of digital nomads like to visit in the summertime or in the wintertime. Digital nomad lifestyle can have a lower cost of living, and this can sound counterintuitive, but if you are from countries such as US, Western Europe, New Zealand or Australia, and you decide to travel and live in countries, for example in Asia, most likely it will be much cheaper for you to live and travel full-time in those countries than living in your own home country. Self-development is another beautiful benefit of digital nomad lifestyle. When you travel full-time, you will have a lot of challenges and opportunities to grow from those challenges. Imagine when you travel from place to place, you will have access to new places, events, people, and ideas that other people don't have access to. And if you choose to transform your personality and level up, digital nomad lifestyle and life of full-time travel can help you a lot. Now let's talk about the cons of digital nomad lifestyle. I know that many don't like to mention this and don't like to talk about it. And when we think about digital nomads and how they live, many of us imagine this beautiful pictures from remote islands when people are working on their laptops, on the beach, in a cafe, in a hotel. And yes, it can be true to some extent, but on the other hand, I have experienced many years of this lifestyle, as well as I have many friends who live as digital nomads, and I can tell you not every day of this lifestyle is this beautiful, and there are also challenges and cons to this lifestyle. I think it's very important to talk about the cons of digital nomad lifestyle, because when a new person like you will be deciding to embark on this lifestyle, to try it out or not, you will be well informed when making your decision. One of the biggest cons of digital nomad lifestyle, I think many digital nomads will agree with this, it's difficulty to keep a consistent routine. Eating healthy food, going to the gym, or visiting your favorite place on a weekend to recharge after the busy week. All these small things are increasingly difficult and challenging when you're traveling full-time. The life of constant travel can negatively affect your health and well-being. It will be more difficult for you to achieve your fitness goals or learn a new skill that requires consistency and practice. For example, dancing or doing martial arts. You have to be in one place and you You have to keep coming back to the practice to improve your skills. Difficulty of building and maintaining relationship is another con of digital nomad lifestyle. And yes, on the one hand, you as a digital nomad will be hanging out with groups of other digital nomads. And most people in the community, they know that they have just a limited time with each other. So it's much easier to drop the small talk and go deeper and have more meaningful conversations. Still, if you're an introvert or if you prefer to have deeper connections and spend more time with somebody to get to know them, it can be more difficult for you to build those relationships. And even if you click with somebody and you have great connection and beautiful relationship, sooner or later one of you will have to leave, and it will be more difficult to maintain this relationship on a distance because you have just a few points of contact and you don't really participate in each other's life. This also is relevant to romantic relationships and dating. If you're a person who prefers to spend a little bit more time with somebody to get to know them before you understand if you really click and if you're into them, it can be more difficult for you to find a partner as a digital nomad. Digital nomad lifestyle is expensive. And I know that I mentioned in the first part of the video that digital nomad lifestyle can be cheaper. But this is mostly for people from countries that I mentioned before, such as US, Western Europe, Australia, or New Zealand. If you are from any other country, most likely it will be more expensive for you to travel full-time than if you were living in your home country. Traveling is expensive, and having traveling as a lifestyle is even more expensive. So, of course, if you're renting a place for a month, 2 or 3, it will be cheaper than when you're renting a place for a week when you're going on holiday. But still, it will be more expensive than if you rented a place for a year or 2 in your home country. Paying for flight tickets and visas is expensive. Working from coffee shops or co-working spaces is more expensive than working from the office or from home. And if you're traveling to a new country or a new place, most likely you will want to take a trip or 2 and spend a couple of days exploring this place and visiting some touristic sites. And finally, every time you arrive in a new place, for the first week or 2, you will be spending more money on convenience. Things such as short-term accommodation before you find something long-term, cafes, supermarkets, transportation. This will be more expensive just because you don't understand the market prices, you don't have cheaper alternatives. Digital nomad lifestyle and life of full-time travel is exhausting, stressful, and draining. To be honest, this is the main reason why I personally decided to quit digital nomad lifestyle, and I'm looking forward to settling down in one place for a longer period of time. When you're traveling full-time, you're constantly looking for flights, accommodation, you're packing your bags, you're flying, transiting, unpacking, looking for a place to work from, looking for a place to buy your food from, looking for things to do on a weekend, looking for people to hang out with, all while trying to make yourself feel comfortable and most likely working full-time. There are a few pillars of life that makes life a good one, or at least a comfortable one. Things such as good sleep, good food, having shelter, social relationships, love life, and work project or creative projects that you're working on. And when you're traveling full-time, most of these basics are compromised, and you have to work much harder on establishing basic routines and basic elements of your everyday life. It is very important to have at least one of those pillars stable, so if everything else is chaotic in your life, you can lean on one of those pillars. The stable pillar for most people is their home and familiar environment. So just imagine if you live in a place for a couple of years and let's say you're fired from your job and your relationship just ended. The familiar environment is something that will help you process that negative experience. You feel more comfortable walking on the same streets, you know you have your favorite places, you have people that you know, and this will help you manage the stresses in your life. Another pillar could be your set rituals and routines. So for example, you go to the gym regularly, or going dancing every week, or going with your friends every weekend for barbecue. This is another structure in your life that can support you in types of crisis. Another pillar could be your relationship. So if everything is chaotic outside, you can come back to your partner and lean into your intimate relationship. And finally, your job can be something that is stable in your life. And for most digital nomads, their job is the pillar that is always present and stable that they can lean on. Just because so many things are changing, constantly changing, environment is changing, routines are difficult to keep, relationships are changing, the job is mostly something that they can always come back to. They can always open their laptop wherever they are, whatever is happening, doesn't matter what time it is, and they can continue working on projects that they are working on. This is something very grounding and stabilizing for many digital nomads. Something to keep in mind here is that even though you can have stable relationships and work projects as a digital nomad, and these can be your pillars that you lean on when everything around you is chaotic and stressful, because you have so much environmental stress to deal with every time you move again and again, this environmental stress can have direct impact, negative impact on both your relationships and how you show up to work. Constantly traveling is inconvenient. Let me tell you this. When you travel full-time, you're going from place to place, you have one suitcase, two suitcases with you. You can't take a lot of things with you. Big things or heavy things, or your pet, for example. So if you like to have a hobby, for example, cooking or drawing or gardening, it is almost impossible to do this while traveling full-time. And this was a struggle for me, for example. Every time I go to a new place, I would like to keep my healthy eating routine and habits. And I want to make my green smoothie in the morning, but I don't have a blender. And I have two choices: buy a blender and leave it in every place I go to, or take it with me, which I don't actually have space in my bag to do so. So in this way, constant traveling adds inconvenience to my life. And what I want to highlight here is that when you live in one place, most likely you know the most convenient way to go to work, you know where's your favorite bakery or what kind of things you can do in your city. This makes your life easier because you can put a lot of things on autopilot. And these basics are out of the way, and you can spend your conscious effort and attention on more important things, such as growing your business, growing your creative projects, working on your relationships, or working on your health. When you're constantly traveling, this is very challenging because again and again and again, you have to attend to the basics to set them up in every new place you go to. And this process takes away your energy, time, and conscious effort from working on more important things. Fear of missing out. As a digital nomad, you will be missing birthdays, weddings, baby showers. Ask me, I missed weddings of all my friends because I was somewhere on the other side of the world. Sometimes you miss the comfort of living in a familiar place, surrounded by people you know, and doing all the ordinary things, and having consistent rituals and routines. And finally, because of social media and being a part of digital nomad community, it is easy to fear FOMO regarding other digital nomads and your friends. So for example, one of your friends is climbing volcano in Indonesia right now, and it may seem like their life is so exciting, and you're just here sitting on a beach in Thailand, and it's not that interesting. After learning about the pros and cons of digital nomad lifestyle, would you want to become a digital nomad? And if you are one, please let me know if you can relate to some of the things that I mentioned in this video, and please comment below if I missed out on something. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell button so you can get notified when my new videos go out.